Hey, 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 good kind people. What is going on? Lee and Tammy Sanders back with you guys for an all new edition of Wrestling with the Topics for this August 17th, 2025. I just heard a little bit of lapping going on. Was that somebody already drinking? See, I knew they was gonna drink the water. I got my furry little daughters in here, joining along with me and the missus. I am, of course, as always, Lee Sanders, joined along by the beautiful and the lovely Tammy.
Hello.
Yes. Oh my God. I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. We cannot complain about ours. I am continuing to put the final touches, getting ready for my transfer to this daggone 4 year university next month. It's coming a lot sooner than anticipated. I'm trying to kick back and enjoy these last couple of weeks, but my brain is just going in a thousand directions right now. I think we told them about the student parking permit thing and how that was stressing me the hell out.
Hmm.
Now I'm really going into anxiety over mode. I'm waiting on my transcript from community college to reflect already that I did the damn thing so that I can hurry up and give it to the 4 year university. That way, if we can maybe try and figure out if there's some last minute classes that I might be able to swap in favor of something else because I've met a certain requirement. But I don't know. I don't think I'll go down that way because of one of the last conversations I had with my academic advisor. I'm still going to send them an email and find out what's going on, but I don't think it's really going to change. At this point, I just want the damn transcript. I just want it to be reflected already so I can just be like, here, guys, here you go. Because they did tell me, hey, when you get that final transcript, the official final transcript, give it to us as soon as possible. So
Right.
I don't want to have to keep, and I think where I'm at right now, I just don't want to be in a place where I have to keep going backwards.
Yeah, I get that.
That's where my headspace really is right now.
Well, things should start opening up next week, if not certainly the following week, because, the academic advisors and teachers and everybody are going back to start the fall semester or new school year, depending on where people are going as
Right.
far as, kids, college, all that kind of thing. So hopefully it'll open up in a few days and you'll be able to get those answers that you're seeking for sure.
Lovely weather that's been going on out here in the nation's capital these past couple of days. But it's kind of hard to enjoy a little something something in the DC region because, good God Almighty, we got a whole lot of craziness that's going on out here. So, where did we leave people last when we were talking about DC? I believe,
We were going to wait and see because the press conference
yes,
wasn't until
it
Monday.
wasn't until this past Monday, and we were just kind of in one of those, well, let's see how this is going to play out. So I'm not sure if you guys have been hearing about this in your respected neck of the woods, but check this out. This is what's been happening in DC, all right? So August 11th, President Trump declared a crime emergency in Washington, D.C., using Section 740 of the Home Rule Act. So, what that entails is an order of 800 National Guard troops puts federal agents over MPD operations, Metropolitan Police Department. And this is despite the fact that actual violent crime is down in the city. Now, we went over all the stats with you last week. If you don't remember, just go pick your own back, check out last week's Wrestling with the Topics, because we went all over the place on stats and everything. Meanwhile, as all this is going on, there was a appointed DEA administrator by the name of Terry Cole who was acting as the police commissioner, which thus cut DC's own police chief, Pamela Smith, out of the whole equation. Even Mayor Bowser, to a certain extent, Mayor Muriel Bowser, even she was pretty much this retrospected in this. But really, Pamela Smith, it was just, yeah, your services are no longer needed. Bye. So this looked very, look, I know some people don't want to be like racial overtone, but all things considered, this definitely, if there was ever a WTF moment, this was definitely it. And honestly, racial overtones, undertones, just racial, that's racism. That's like kind of near the bottom of my list. I'm just looking at it from the sole purpose of, I'm very familiar with Pamela Smith's work that she's done in the couple of years that, she's been doing her thing. Well, actually, no, I think maybe she may be creeping up on a year or maybe a year and a half or something like that because she was still kind of recently appointed. I know we
I
haven't
don't
seen her
know
for 3 years
specific
now.
time frame.
I know we haven't seen her for 3 years now. I know that much for certain. But it's a situation where you're going, yeah, no, she's done enough. She should be able to continue to hold this job down.
Hmm.
Seriously. Why does she need to be replaced? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So the city ended up suing immediately, calling it an illegal power grab and violation of home rule. They had to have a federal judge step in. Trump administration partially backed off, and they're letting Chief Smith remain in position
Good.
under condition that MPD now cooperates fully with federal immigration enforcement and policy directives. So what does that mean in a nutshell? So basically, remember how Washington D.C. was what's the code word that they like using for certain cities? Basically a safe city. You don't have to worry about ice and all this other stuff. You don't have to worry
Yeah, that's
about.
out the window.
Yeah, right. That's now officially out the window in a nutshell. Mayor
Hmm.
Muriel Bowser, police chief, like they now got to work with the DEA, ICE. They now got, yeah. So DC is not, and I really feel for the people in DC. I really really do because man, when you go to parts of Mount Pleasant, even hell, when you go to certain parts in what is that area I'm thinking about? Adams Morgan is what I'm
Hmm.
thinking about. When you go up to the MLK Park, or you go over, open the door for them, because otherwise they're gonna. I don't know why we got the door shut. If anything, we need to have that door be open because I'm already starting to get hot. I'm getting hot just talking about these damn topics here. But yeah, it's one of those things where you you think about certain areas in the district and you're going, whoa, what does this mean for Hispanics, especially those that came over here? They're trying to get their piece of the American dream. They're trying to do what they can to be able to provide for themselves, provide for their families. They're trying to eventually put themselves in a good position where, they're trying to come into the states. They're trying to do it right, and visa and all that, just all that stuff, right? But now they got to be looking over their shoulders because, yeah, Mayor Muriel Bowser and Police Chief Pamela Smith, they coming for your ass. It's really, really messed up that they now have to cooperate fully with the federal immigration enforcement and policy directives. So this is a kind of soft occupation as DC still runs day to day policing or policing, but it has to coordinate with feds and keep the guard deployed through at least mid September. So, Hun, this really brings an interesting question. Is this about crime or control? Because again,
Control.
okay, and to the listeners checking this out, like again, the question is this about crime or control? Because from what we talked about last week, DC crime is down, but the administration used it as a justification to override local government and flex federal muscle in a democratic stronghold. Okay? So if a president, think about this. Because this is so multi-layered. Think about this. If a president can just declare a public safety emergency to seize partial control of a city, then riddle me this: what is gonna stop this from happening again to Baltimore, to Chicago, to Los Angeles, to New York, to Philly, like New Jersey? I mean, you guys get the gist.
So when you have something like this and it's so short term, what are you really doing? Are you putting a band-aid over the problem? Because that seems to me like what they think they're doing, is because it's only 30 days or maybe, more depending on federal ruling. But literally, where a crime, in a city where crime is down, and, as we went over stats last time, Maryland, Baltimore is actually higher than DC. But yet you inflict that power, or impose, let me say that, impose that power for DC because of an isolated incident, because that's what this is. And it is absolutely about control. It's not about, for me, let me say that. These are my views, nobody else. But for me, this is about control. This is about retaliation in reference to certain events that happened prior to this. Grant you,
Well,
yes.
hold up, back up. And I didn't mean to interrupt Tams there, folks, but I think context is everything. What specifically from the past?
So specifically from the past, which seems to have gotten a few heads turning in the White House, was the Doge member that got beat up.
Now, it's funny you mentioned that. Let me push back on that. Because I think that was just a blanket cover up. I don't think with 100%.
Then what else would you call it?
I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
Because I'm getting there. What I think this is, and I don't know, because I haven't been making my rounds checking out Joe Scarborough or what folks are saying on MSNBC, CNN, or the other networks. So please, you guys have to let me and Tams know, because if they're getting ready to say, if it turns out what I'm getting ready to say, it's matching up to what some of these other networks are saying, I guess you could say great minds think alike. I don't know. But I'm thinking about all the stuff that happened during this particular president and his administration's first term. I'm thinking about Black Lives Matter and how he basically was not down with that. And how essentially he looked at let's call it for what it is. He looked at all the brown folks coming together and looked at that as a bad thing and wanted to call the National Guard on them and all this other stuff. Okay. There will be law and order restored. Ugh. And remember that infamous shot of him in front of that church where he has the Bible upside down? Uh-huh. You think about all that. You think about when he was butting heads with Mayor Muriel Bowser, the first rodeo. I mean, she wore her heart on her sleeve. She was just repulsed at the notion that this guy was president. And she sure as hell felt that this guy was just going to be a one-hit wonder and all that other good stuff. So, I mean, there was a lot of, let's call it for what it's worth. There was a lot of disdain. There was a lot of hatred. There was a lot of scoff, whatever you want to call it. There was a lot that was looking directly at that president, that was served on a silver platter to that president during his first term. And like a true black motherfucker, you know what Trump did? Okay. I mean, he went Denzel Washington in training day. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. It's like that. It's like that. It's like okay, okay. And sure enough, he got him a second term.
That's right.
He got him
He
a
got him a second term.
he got him a second term, whatever you want to call it. And now all these people that was saying all kinds of foul, messed up stuff, right down to the point. I still remember to this very day when he won the first election. I find it so interesting that I don't get my face on the Smart Trip card. Obama got his on the Smart Trip card. Biden got his on the Smart Trip card. Where's my Smart Trip card? And Womana tried to do some blanket. Oh, it was, it was nothing personal at all. Meanwhile, we find out that they prematurely, they thought that,
They already had Kamala.
yeah,
Ha! Now I would have liked that one.
right. Okay, so once again, like a true black motherfucker, Trump is tallying this shit up in his head. I don't mean to keep saying black people. There are legit some folks that's like when you feel like somebody did you dirty, you're going, okay, I'm gonna remember that shit. Cause trust me, I'm gonna have my receipts. And he got his second term, and now mofos are like, now they're changing their tune. They're changing their tune. And he said this a long time ago during his second term. He said this like within the first 90 days of his second term. He said, a lot of people didn't think I was going to win the first time. And a lot of people didn't think I was going to win this time. But the country spoke. But that's not what no, this is where I'm getting at. He goes, now all of a sudden, a lot of people that didn't want to have anything to do with me during my first term, they're trying to be my friends. They're all trying to be friendly with me this second term. Everybody's now my friend. And that's because everybody wants something. Well, I want something too. And you're like, okay, that's, okay, touche, okay, I hear you, touche, right? So look at how DC particularly through this mayor has been caving big time to this dude. Okay? Black Lives Matter Plaza, gone. That joint suffered the Thanos snap.
Right.
Okay? Like it never existed. Like, huh? I mean, I'm just picturing Jonathan Frackie's, it never happened. It's not real. It was fake. We got you. We tricked you. We conned you. It's a dupe. Flugazy. Like just we got you again. I mean, that's how I picture like Black Lives Plaza. Like it never happened. There's just so much crap that's going on. Oh, you want to try to bring the Commanders back to DC? Okay, well, you're gonna have to grease the monkey a little bit here, right? You're gonna have to grease it a little bit. What are you gonna do for me? I mean, there's all kinds of seriously. And it sickens me. You guys have no idea. It sickens me to the fucking stomach to see Mayor Muriel Bowser just cave the way that she's
What
been.
else is she gonna do? I mean,
How about continue to be the person that you've been all these years?
and risk not getting half of what she needs for her city?
Jesus. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
because
No. You asked the question. Yes, because she still has the record, everything that she's done for the district. Now, granted, not everything has been perfect, but as far as what she's been able to accomplish compared to Anthony Williams,
Mm-hmm.
Adrian Fenty, Marion Barry, you can make an argument that, you know what, probably within the last 25 years,
Mm-hmm.
definitely, if not in the top three, she definitely
Mm-hmm.
she's somewhere high up on that list for sure.
Oh,
Right? If
absolutely.
she's not number one, she's definitely like in a top five for sure
Absolutely.
for what she's. Why not just rest on those laurels and just, I see what's happening with Gavin Newsom out in California. That's a prime example.
Mm-hmm.
You got Trump basically saying, "Oh, I'm gonna put a warrant out for your arrest." Da 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 da. And Newsom's like, "Okay, Cupcake." I mean, he literally called Trump Cupcake and goes, "Here's my GPS. Come get me." 24 hours later or whatever, and the dude is still, he ain't been arrested yet. So I don't know. It really raises the question: what does home rule mean anymore for DC if you can be overridden at the snap of a finger?
True.
And then the other thing that you got to look at here is, does this actually make residents safer, or is it red meat optics for an election cycle?
Sounds like the latter to me.
You know, it really, really brings about that question. Now, I know a lot of people feel very divided about this. And shout out to some of the local news organizations that's out there, because some of them have actually spoken to victims
Mm-hmm.
of gun violence. And some of them are like, no, I appreciate this. Some of them are going, well, although I appreciate what's being done, this feels a little bit too drastic. I feel as though maybe the president and his administration, they could actually instead focus more on donating resources to, community centers,
Mm-hmm.
to, gun violence, gang prevention, blah this,
Mm-hmm.
blah that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then let's look at the other element to this, which is definitely very near and dear to my heart, because when I was growing up as a kid, myself, my mother, we experienced homelessness. And not to the point that, knock on wood, not to the point that we were living on the streets. It never came to that, but we always were able to access some type of shelter, to, put a really good roof over our head, three hot meals. I was able to go to school, through those respective shelters. My mom was able to find some type of work, and thank God for those shelters, because it eventually helped us the way that shelter is supposed to help you, which is, okay, you're gonna have this, you'll have access to this, and eventually, you'll have your own place again, and you'll have that financial stability, because with our help, you'll be able to find work, yada yada yada. I don't like how this administration has been handling the homelessness situation. You've had over 70 homeless camps so far that's been cleared immediately after the takeover. And you got residents that claim, it wasn't about safety, it was about cleaning the streets for
Mm-hmm.
optics.
Mm-hmm.
And that's led to protest marches all around Freedom Plaza and Judiciary Square. And I agree. I agree with those assessments, because this goes this goes hand to hand with what we've been talking about here on the show over the years, hun, which is on the air and just side conversations between the shows, which is, you can, I sometimes call it whiteify a neighborhood, but for lack of a better term, what I'm basically saying is, you can modernize a neighborhood all you want on a higher income bracket end to attract a higher income demographic of people with certain incomes, education, and work background and all that, because you're going for a particular niche, you can cater to those crowds all you want. Guess what? That doesn't take care of the homeless people. That still does not take care of those that are maybe dealing with some type of mental disability and they're wandering our streets. You can't just modernize your neighborhood and just essentially think you can erase these people. They still exist. And guess what? If you try kicking them out of a neighborhood, guess what? They're just going to go a couple of blocks or over to the next one, and it's pretty much rinse repeat. So this isn't how you and what this administration has basically done. It's almost like this president is just driving around in his limo. Look at those ugly, disgusting bums. That's all they are, is bums. Why are we seeing this crap? Get rid of it. It's almost like, okay, if you want to feel embarrassed, especially because you're the president of the United States, and it's like, man, I can't even go past a block, and I see homeless people, I see encampments, I see, okay, like, I get you. You want to do something about it. But destroying homeless people's tents and all that shit, and saying, oh, we're going to arrest you. And like that, no, fucking get them the resources that they need so they can get back on their feet again. And then if heaven forbid, if mentally they are so far gone that they can't get the help that they need, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I'm saying that right. That they not only can they not get the help that they need, but they can't survive on their own. Then let's get them the necessary resources where a caretaker or something, like they can be helped. Because when it's all said and done, a lot of these people that are mentally not well and all that, those individuals, if you take them down to social services and all that other stuff, there's money that can be had for them so that they can get what all they need. And you
You
feel
sure with all the cuts to the government?
yeah, I know, right? I know, right? I mean, we got these people talking about, you know 120 years old, still collecting social security. How so? Another person 150 years old, still collecting social security. How is that so? Like, I don't know about all that,
That
but
makes two of us.
I don't know about all that, but you can't destroy these homeless encampments and just. I told you a really cool idea way before RFK even came back. Before Josh Allen and them were like, "Hey, we're bringing Commanders back to DC." I said to you off and on over the years, and it was even part of a mock proposal, and I'll share it with you guys sometime. It's a mock proposal that I came up with a couple of years ago for one of my classes, and one of my ideas was, look, let's see if maybe we can utilize the old RFK Stadium. It's not being used for anything, and let's maybe turn that into a state of the art type of homeless facility that has a education system. You can learn about the computer, the web. You can have a workstation where you got a team that can help you out with your resumes, get you prepared for job interviews, all that good stuff. Like, it would have everything that homeless people would essentially need, right? Everything is housed just right there. I also looked at real properties that were abandoned all throughout, that continue to be abandoned as we speak, all throughout the southeast corridor. I'm eyeballing you, Anacostia, Navy Yard, even some parts in DC. And none of that in 2025 has still not happened.
I basically to just elaborate a little bit more, you were speaking of in that proposal of community centers throughout DC
Yeah.
that could maybe not just one conglomerate, but little entities in
Mm-hmm.
your city that could help with, you know, community centers that, kids had somewhere to be, whether it was playing cards or games or, hanging out with their friends or something like that, that could essentially push things in the right direction and get the people that need the help they need,
Correct. Correct.
which is actually, you know, that's part of in the society that we're in. Nobody wants to fix the problem; they just want to get rid of it.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. And it's quite sad. It's quite sad. So that's what all is going on from those standpoints. Now, on a much lighter note, but still connected to DC, we had a incident that happened just outside of Union Station a day later. A 28-year-old man by the name of Marion MJ Booker, who turns out worked as a FedEx delivery driver. Now, what originally was going on, leave it to the social media detectives. They were able to figure out that apparently this guy, originally there was a report being flown out there. Oh, he's a DOJ lawyer. No, 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 no. But how close they were, he was studying to become a lawyer. More on that in a hot second. The 28-year-old Marion MJ Booker, who worked as a FedEx delivery driver, was off duty and grabbing some street food when he got into a shouting match with a hot dog vendor. Now, as all this was going on, two Metro PD officers told him to move it along. And rather than do that, he yelled some vulgar obscenity stuff at the police, and then he proceeded to throw what has been described as a hot pastrami sandwich at one of the officers. The sandwich hit the officer square in the chest, splattering mustard and onions. Booker ran off yelling, "Now what, bacon?" before being tackled 2 blocks away. So, dude was arrested and charged with simple assault and on law enforcement, disorderly conduct, resisting arrests. You've probably seen this. It's gone viral, and rightfully so. I love the part where somebody was yelling in the background, "Pastrami Revolution!" And as the cops had chased at him,
They chased him.
they chased at him, yeah. That's my word. I'm sticking to it. They chased at him. FedEx confirmed 2 days after the incident that Booker, poor Booker, man, had been terminated, citing conduct unbecoming of an employee representing the brand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So only in DC does the crime surge the feds came to stop end up being a dude throwing a fucking lunch meat missile. I mean, how about that?
Lunch meat missile.
I mean, I mean,
Yeah, deadly.
I mean, really. Social media has been dubbing him the lunch meat Luther King Jr. Uh, I mean, it really raises the question, if this counts as an assault on an officer, what everyday act could land you in jail next?
Yeah, a lot of things y'all wouldn't even think about.
This just really takes the relationship between civilians and law enforcement to a whole new level.
And not only that, if you guys saw the way he threw that sandwich, I mean, the only thing he was essentially hurt with was maybe some mustard on his clothes. That mess could not have hurt. It was one of those here.
But this is what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. Okay, I'm getting my win loss column ready for later. This is what I don't understand, and I need y'all to help me out with this.
One, the PD officers, zero pastrami dude.
What I don't understand is somewhere in regards to communication, it's somehow lost on DC residents and anybody else for that matter in the surrounding parts of the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia. It's lost upon them that, yo, the National Guard, these extra police officers, like, they didn't ask for this.
Nor were they trained for it.
They didn't ask for this, nor were they trained for it, but they have a job to do.
Right.
And if they aren't willing to do that job, they're going to be looked at as insubordinate and
Mm-hmm.
they'll be canned.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like many of us, they got families that they got to take care of. So it's like, what do you expect them to do? They're not looking to, what's the right word I'm looking for? They're not looking to cause mischief. They're not looking to, but at the same time, I need to push back on this. I need to push back on this. And this is very important because I don't need anybody taking me out of context. I said this a long time ago, which is, if you're going to do something like this, and we kind of heard rumblings about this could possibly happen, but now that it's actually
Mm-hmm.
happened, my whole thing has been don't just do it in one area, do it throughout.
True.
Hit up all the wards. If you're going to do this, hit up all the wards and hit them hard, hit them fast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And it kind of seems like that's maybe what this president is trying to do. I don't know, because I'll be honest with you guys. I haven't even researched where they got all these troops deployed yet. But my whole thing is if you're going to go in this direction, man, if you're law enforcement, if you're the troops, if you're the National Guard, this is a very delicate situation here because I watched the news the other day and somewhere in DC, I wish I could remember the cross point, but I just remember shaking my head going, yeah, I won't be coming to DC anytime in the next 3 years because they're now just doing random car stops
Mm-hmm.
at like this
I
one
heard that.
busy intersection. Yeah, and they're trying to find out like who's legal and illegal. And it's just, can you just imagine that? You enjoying a nice family vacation
Or
and
even going out to dinner.
whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, can you just
Mm-hmm.
imagine, you know, Juan Pablo has been in the United States for 50 years. He's never gotten in trouble with the law. He's raised 5 kids who have gone on to have children of their own. So he's pretty much a great grandfather. And they find out that Juan Pablo uh, does not have a work visa or does he have any type of citizenship here in the United States? And Juan Pablo is detained and sent to some random country.
Right. And all his life and his family is here.
Right.
And look at all the money that he's put into our economy.
Exactly.
Him and his kids.
Exactly. It's a very delicate, optic. If you ask me straight up, the optics looks like, look what I'm doing. Look at my big old dick. Look at how I'm getting shit done. Ain't I great?
But the funny thing is, if you look at the amount that was deported by any other president versus him,
Mm.
he's lower. So,
Yeah.
or at least in the some of the stats that I've read.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I do, in my opinion,
Mm.
absolutely agree with everything you just said.
Yeah. Now, just kind of circling back, I told you guys I was going to bring it up later. That Booker dude, FedEx employee. Yeah, he used to work as an intern at the DOJ back in 2022 while he was finishing law school, but he never passed the bar.
Huh.
So he didn't get hired full time, and he was currently working as a FedEx driver to pay the bills while studying to retake the bar exam in October. Well, I guess that's not going to happen.
I- Whew.
So,
Well, he could take the bar and then he could just become another Better Call Saul.
yeah, he can go online and mess with somebody. Yeah, yeah. We now take Clonara and Zip. Get your law degree in just 5 easy installments. Yeah, yeah. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Switching it up a little bit. Paramount and UFC, baby. Talk about a historic deal. I was still getting myself caught up to speed on this. I've yet to talk about this. I'd love to get your reactions to this because this ties into our conversation of what we've been having over the years about uh, media consumption and yeah, everybody's cutting the cords and streaming apps and all this. Check this out. Talk about a historic week this was. Paramount and UFC have struck a historic deal for $7.7 billion.
Ooh.
Paramount Plus will become the exclusive U.S. home for all UFC content, 13 numbered events, and 30 fight nights annually. And there's going to be select events that will air on CBS as well. So, by this new era in sports slash entertainment consumption, this officially ends the traditional pay per view model,
Yeah.
as everything will be included in your Paramount Plus subscription. So, if there was ever a time to get a Paramount Plus subscription, it's definitely going to be when this goes into effect. Now, the last UFC ESPN pay per view, that's going to be at the end of this calendar year and definitely January of 2026. That's when the new deal with Paramount Plus goes into effect. So when you really break this down, Paramount will be paying about $1.1 billion per year, which averages 7.7 billion over 7 years. This is definitely a very strategic pivot toward live sports streaming and exclusive content to attract subscribers. Joe Rogan has called it a hypernova, applauding the affordability shift and broader reach. Although there are some concerns that remain that moving away from ESPN may make it harder to retain casual viewers without that network's promotional muscle. Meanwhile, UFC's Dana White, he's confirmed that increased fighter bonuses will go down as a direct result of the Paramount deal, meaning shared success for the athletes. So that is where we stand right now with this Paramount Plus UFC blockbuster of a deal. We thought that WWE and ESPN and what they are essentially going to be doing with all their PLEs going forward, we thought maybe that was a blockbuster deal. But now we got the UFC in the mix here, and this blockbuster deal with Paramount Plus. Your thoughts on hearing this? Take it wherever you want to go.
Well, my first thing is they've seen WWE do this for how many years? Number one.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like, well, why not get a piece of that pie? Because that's where entertainment is going.
Hmm.
I mean, it's been going there for a while, but it's really going there. Gone are the days of. It's almost like for those of you who are old enough to remember TV before cable. It's a lot like that. It's almost like when cable came into play. It was like, oh, you want me to just have 5 to 10 channels, and TV goes off at 9 o'clock or 12 o'clock, But over here, I've got TV all the time. I've got like 50 to 70 channels of stuff that I can watch whenever I want to. And then slowly, what they used to call analog TV just faded into the sunset. Well, eventually cable's going to do that too. Not
It's
anytime in the near future,
yeah,
but eventually.
yeah. It's so funny. I had somebody, and I don't say this to pick on them or anything, but I had somebody that was telling me, cable is alive and well. It's not dead. It's not going anywhere. It's thriving. It's making more money than ever. And I was like, what are you sourcing? Like, because I was like, not smoking. I said, what are you sourcing? Like, what are you basing this off of? Name your sources. Who are you citing for this info? And they could not cite anything. So it was like, okay, so this is more so a matter of opinion. And then when I pressed
Mm-hmm.
them, they were like, well, it's online. And it's like, that's a lazy ass answer. Like, no,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. If you are gonna say like you need to, what is this based on? Is this from a, I don't know, Pew Research? And see, here's the thing, folks. If you want to like make a very valid point and you're gonna try it, like you should be able to go, hey, look, according to the Wall Street Journal, according to Pew Research, according to, you know, some dumbfuck.org, you always want to be paying attention to, stuff like that and be able to just like on command, right? Because if you can't do that, if you can't even name at least one site, that makes your argument look real suspect. And it makes it come off more like it's a personal opinion. It's
Mm-hmm.
amazing because we all can pull up, man, we remember this, we remember that, but then the minute we're put on the spot, oh, where are you getting this information from? Who are you citing exactly?
Right.
You know,
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, when I hear what you're saying about UFC looking at what WWE was doing and was like, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, sure, we can do even better. And
Mm-hmm.
that's great that just out the gate. Now, look, this whole thing about, but they're not going to quite have the muscle power like they used to with ESPN. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. Um, this will either make UFC or break UFC. And what I mean by that
Mm-hmm.
is, okay, you're going to Paramount Plus. So you're telling me that for, I don't know, $11 and change, I can essentially get Paramount Plus. I don't have to worry about no ads, right? I don't have to worry about no ads. I can just kick back and I can enjoy my Beavis and Butthead. I can enjoy my Tulsa King. I can enjoy Taxi. I can enjoy I Love Lucy. I can enjoy some Heathcliff. And man, when I'm ready for my UFC, wow, I get all that for $11.99 versus what was happening before where it was this weird, well, do you have ESPN? Yeah, okay, well, if you have ESPN, well, you kind of get a couple of dollars off. But then I remember something before that where, well, you got to have the UFC Fight Pass. Well, what's that about? Well,
Mm-hmm.
you got to pay this X amount of money. Okay. And do I get the pay per view for free? No, but you get a couple of dollars off. Well, and then if you're not able to take advantage of that, then it becomes a situation where you got to pay the full price. Like they were losing me over the
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
It got to a point where I just said, I'm out. When y'all figure that shit out, I'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they figured it out. So now
Mm-hmm.
for me, that's music to my ears to hear,
Mm-hmm.
yo, $11 and some change. And think about this, folks. Paramount Plus, motherfuckers stay. Motherfuckers stay busting out Paramount Plus for free with trials.
That's true.
Okay?
That's true.
So, I mean, you could be kicking back and you could be, you know, I'll give you a perfect example. You could just, I don't know, got done buying something through Zip or Klarna, or I don't know, maybe you just completed a WWE shop purchase or some shit. And the next thing you know, hey, thanks for completing your order. You got this offer. Get 3 months of Paramount Plus for free. And it's like, wait, what? Oh yeah, I'll jump on that. Yeah, sure. What the hell? Lord knows when it's come to Stars, the network, I have gotten plenty of opportunities to get it either for a couple of months or get it for a low rate. And I'm like that meme that's running around me every single time I'm trying to get a free subscription to something, and I'm wearing different disguises and shit. Right?
Yes,
That's,
this is true.
that's me with the emails. I'm like, yeah, let me sign up for for this and everything. By the way, and I don't want to spoil it for Tams. Um, Baby, you are gonna love how BMF wraps up. That's all. Like, you're gonna love how BMF wraps up. I binged like a mofo because I knew I was gonna come across some potential spoilers on social media if I did not like hurry up already. I was very fortunate because I didn't watch the last 6 BMF episodes. So while Tams was at work and I was chilling, after getting done with my graveyard shift, I'm like, okay, I got plenty of energy. What am I gonna do? I got me some nice, tall, refreshing drink. I got me some snacks. I started watching my BMF, and I was like, ooh, ooh. I felt like that referee gif where he's seeing somebody get knocked out, and he's just ooh, ooh. He's making the faces. That's how I felt and everything. But yeah, it's like Stars and Paramount Plus. Like, you can usually get a free subscription. That's my whole point. But particularly, Paramount needs to get a lot of love because once the subscription is about to end, I will give Paramount this much credit. Paramount goes, hey, we hate to lose you. How about you stay on for another month on us? And it's like, oh shit, since you just came volunteering the shit, okay, fine. And then sometimes they'll even do it again when you're about to leave. Or they'll say, oh, how about we give you this reduced price for the next month or two? They really try to keep you on board. They really, really do. Now, Paramount Plus, it's not going to be for everybody. It's really not. Paramount Plus, I would say, I would look at it like this. If you care about watching select retro TV shows, if you're interested in watching new episodes of Beavis and Butthead, if you're interested in checking out new episodes and or specials of South Park and all that, then I would definitely say Paramount Plus. I know they also got the new Star Trek series, something Deck, first Deck, and then Strange New Worlds. If you like all that type of stuff, then yeah, Paramount Plus, that's gonna have a little bit of something for everybody. You're definitely gonna get more value for your dollar, and understand something, folks. Understand something. This is coming from somebody that's not going to hit you up with no bullshit like, oh, I have an affiliate link so you can. No, I'm not being paid. Like, I know what I know because Tams will tell you, I have spent years checking out different subscriptions to different stuff. So I know from experience. And the way Tams will usually find out is I'll either say, hey, I was checking out, and then she'll come on board. She'll see what I'm checking out. And then usually 8 out of 10, maybe 7 out of 10, she'll like what I'm showing her or whatever, and then it kind of goes from there. And then we usually end up comparing notes with coworkers and friends, and it turns out Like some of them, they're already ahead of the curve. They already knew about that, and then the others just like, oh yeah, oh tell me more about that. And it's like, okay, cool. What's that show with Hawkeye, Mayor of Kingstown? That's like a really
Mayor or
popular
something,
mayor
yeah.
or something. Like he Jeremy Renner, real
Yeah,
popular.
actually, it was something that when I saw it, it was kind of like,
Yeah,
probably should,
yeah,
get into
yeah,
watching that. But
yeah. That has to be. I will say this about Paramount Plus. The few times, cause see, I ended my Paramount Plus subscription because honestly, I needed to free up the money because there was some other stuff that I was trying to do. But it was like, yo, I need to come back and reactivate my Paramount Plus subscription because I still got to watch the new season of Tulsa King.
sure, we haven't seen the last two seasons.
No, no, no. It only did
Oh,
season two. Season three's filming. I
they're
think
getting ready
filming
to come
just
out
wrapped up.
soon. Yeah.
No, season three they just filmed it. Should not be coming back till next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. But it's crazy what is happening here. Um, really, when it's all said and done. And to iDoc in the chat, iDoc is saying so much repeating. Say something, repeat the same thing, happening over and over, gets tired fast when done. Listen and see how many repeats are happening. Thumbs down next. iDoc, I don't know what you're talking about, my friend. We have essentially been diving down the rabbit hole of this whole Paramount Plus deal, and I'm actually trying to let newer folks know that have not checked out Paramount Plus before, why it's actually a good thing for them to check out and everything. Understand something. This is not the McLaughlin group. Understand something. This is not one of those type of shows where we're going to be all extremely analytical and no, what you're dropping in on is a conversation. Now, you're welcome to be part of that conversation, and you're definitely welcome to offer constructive criticism, feedback, like what you're doing right now. And I apologize to you and anybody else that may feel like we're repeating ourselves, but I don't feel like we are repeating ourselves. I mean, have we repeated something redundantly a few times within the last 58 minutes that we've been on the air? I don't believe so.
Not to my knowledge.
Because normally the way this show also works is between me and Tams, let you guys in on a little bit of an insider secret. We actually will cue, because we're looking right at one another. We're in the same room. It's not like we're in different rooms. We're literally looking right at each other. And little baseball insider info, when we feel as though we're being a little bit long winded on a particular topic, we actually kind of physically do a little motion to let that other person know, let's go ahead and move it along to something else. So, yeah, it's very weird. Yeah, I mean, I hear your comment. I respect you. I respect anybody else. We'll see how we can just for you. Well, he's probably gone or whatever. But to anybody else that maybe felt the way iDoc feels, I mean, look, it's not just our show; it's y'all show as well. We talk about whatever's got you guys talking, whatever is trending. That's basically how this show works. I don't think I got anything else to add to that. Do you, babe?
Nope.
No. So, anyway, keeping it moving along. So, I see what Judge had said in the chat. He goes, Paramount is a scam. I don't know why he or they are saying that Paramount is a scam, but hey. Judge also had said before that WWE trying to put AEW out of business, and I love how AEW is just ignoring them and working on their product. I will say this about AEW. I will say this about them. I wasn't going to talk about this until later on, but I will say one thing. Kudos to AEW because in the past, AEW used to always be so quick to mention WWE, and in a negative way. It was always throwing shade, some type of a verbal jab at WWE. I will give them that. I know you haven't checked out the AEW product in a good minute, but
Mm-hmm.
I've been poking my head in, seeing what they've been up to within recent weeks, and it feels like they are finally growing up.
Good.
Okay, like,
Good.
and it's just the little things that I notice, and the little things that I notice is the fact that they are doing their very best to keep their head down
Mm-hmm.
and really focus on quality. Now, don't get me wrong, they're still doing a whole bunch of flippity doodah bullshit, but not only are they at a point right now where they have a really good, strong, thriving roster, but they also have a good, there's a couple of good story arcs that they have. They're still doing the whole quirky, there's some things they do that you just kind of shake your head and go, well, that doesn't really make a whole bunch of sense. They still do matches where everybody's throwing everything but the kitchen sink, and it's pretty much rinse and repeat for all the other matches.
Mm.
But despite some of those minor things, they're on a really better path. I feel right down to the point. You even look at some of the live events.
Mm-hmm.
They stop playing at these big venues where there's so many empty seats.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're playing at much smaller venues. They're trying to play to the size of their audiences.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
That is good.
That's how you should do it.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly how you should do it. So I'm proud of what I've been seeing from them, but I tell you what, it's not so much about competing with WWE
Mm-hmm.
because I've said this for years. WWE is its own enterprise.
Absolutely.
WWE is its own, right? I mean, it is just in a league of its own.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than try to be at that level, rather than try to compete, just worry about. I kind of think about Eric Bischoff and his
Mm-hmm.
whole approach to WCW.
Yep.
Well, what is WWE doing that we're not doing? Okay, WWE right now they're focusing on kids. Okay, well, we'll focus on the adults. They want to do slapstick comedy, comic book character type bullshit. Okay, well, we're gonna blur the lines and we're gonna do some real shit.
Mm-hmm.
We want to bring some realness to our character. So let's go in that direction. Oh, their stuff is taped. Okay, well, we're gonna go live. And it does kind of seem like Tony Khan is kind of implementing some of those, but I do need to push back just a little bit, because so much more can be done and should be done with AEW. I want to definitely circle it back to WWE because it does involve them as well, but I see this report that's floating around that AEW is very concerned that WWE might try to strong arm them because WWE is trying to put all their help into TNA and getting them a really good TV deal. So just think about this for a second, and everybody else. Just really look at the current landscape right now. So we've got UFC, Paramount Plus. We've got WWE ESPN. We've got WWE Netflix. We've got WWE A&E. We've got WWE CW.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, man, that is a whole lot of ground that is covered. Right now, TNA just has access TV. Decent number of households that it's in, but it's not a mainstream. Like, it doesn't matter who you're with,
Mm-hmm.
cable or you've cut the cord. You're good. You're gonna have them. You're good. If they can land TNA, that is a TV deal with, say, a A&E, or I don't even, is WGN still, no, WGN, I think they're now just all news,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. But if they
Yeah, but
can,
basically repetition.
yeah,
Everything used to see on WGN
uh-huh.
is either news or just some form of repetition. They don't have any new content.
It's interesting because I don't want to get sidetracked. No, it's interesting though. But as long as TNA can get some type of a network deal,
Mm-hmm.
hell, I wouldn't. Me personally, I wouldn't mind it if they could get one with CW. I mean, it would go hand in hand since you've already got NXT. I mean, really stop and think
Mm-hmm.
about it. And a lot of people are still sleeping on Wild Women of Wrestling, which is also available in syndication on CW.
Mm-hmm.
So what a great 1, 2, 3 punch that would be to have
Mm-hmm.
Wild Women of Wrestling. You've got your NXT and you've got TNA Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know Eric Bischoff had said if TNA can land a network deal, a local popular network deal, that TNA would become the number 2 company. Basically, they would overthrow AEW. And I believe he said in about a year. I don't know about that.
I think it'll be longer than that.
You would have to come holler at me in about 5 to 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Holler at me in about 5 to 7 years, because that's some bold shit to say in a year. Nah, whatever you smoking, pass it, because that must be some good shit. like, like, seriously. But AEW, I see all these moves at WWE and all this other stuff that's happening. And I'm really concerned about AEW because that's great that they've got their deal with Warner Brothers Discovery. And I'm hoping that the numbers for Collision and Dynamite continues to tick upward, because I am seeing that based on the recent ratings and viewership I've been noticing the past couple of weeks. They've been rebounding quite nicely, but they need to continue to keep that going if they're hoping to get that re up.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something, and everybody else, something that's very important: the streaming. Streaming is where you want to be. And if I'm AEW and Tony Khan, I'm going, what are we going to do about our ROH library? That's great that we got it
Mm-hmm.
hiding behind essentially a paywall
Right.
of a website. But if the reports are true that WWE is strongly considering having their entire wrestling library be up on YouTube, talk about
Wow.
a game changer.
Wow.
Could you just imagine if WWE pulls the trigger on that? First of all, shout out to any vintage uploader for WWE matches and
Mm-hmm.
all that. Now you're gonna have to hurry up and take that shit off.
Right.
Otherwise,
You're gonna get flagged.
right, your channel's gonna be gone
Mm-hmm.
straight up, because that is an immediate copyright strike.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to
Yeah.
be careful. But
So their whole library up on YouTube,
there's a
possibly,
room, possibly.
Okay, so is that now possibly also behind a paywall?
If it was up to me, I would personally have it be behind a paywall. I would basically go back to when the WWE Network first launched and they did the whole 9.99. I would make that be available on the new WWE YouTube channel. That's how I would rebrand it. The new WWE YouTube channel. Come on there, subscribe for $10, be a channel member, and for $10 a month, you get access to everything. And man, what the production and technical crew behind the scenes, oh, could you just imagine them going back, not just updating stuff to true quality definition, but maybe even testing the waters with 4K, trying to see how certain things would look in 4K quality. I mean, the money itself, because think about it, folks, and I know some people are upset at the idea of, oh, I don't want to have to pay for it. But no, if it's a case where, look, your $10 is going a long way because not only is it taking care of the people that's going to be in charge of uploading all of this content, but you're also going to need a team that's going to be looking at all of this content and going, okay, so yeah, this was released for standard DVD back in the 90s or early 2000s, but yeah, now that we're here in 2025, this definitely needs a serious upgrade. Let's see what we can do with touching it up. And if it can be done, again, that $10 a month, it's doing so much. Might not seem much to the person that's coming out of their pocket for it, but when you have so many people that's kicking that
And it
same amount,
multiplies,
and it multiplies exactly.
over hundreds of thousands of people.
Hmm.
It's not just, 10,000 or whatever have you. You're talking about hundreds of thousands.
Hmm.
I am with you on behind a paywall. The other thing is you also are able to break that up instead of, oh, well, I don't need to watch the whole pay-per-view. I just want to watch the match between, you know, Jake the Snake Roberts and Macho Man Randy Savage. Hypothetically. I don't know if there was ever a match, but anyway, and splice it that way.
Hmm.
And then it's like, oh, okay, I can just watch this match
Hmm.
versus the whole pay per view.
Hmm.
So maybe it can be split up that way too.
Right.
So, there are multiple ways that can go in reference to, okay, you're putting it behind a paywall. Okay, well, here is the library, but here is also the library sectioned off because one is more apt to watch something real quick, or like a 15 to 30-minute match real quick versus, oh, well, I'm getting ready to sit through a 2 to 2.5 hour pay-per-view.
Right.
So that's, there's something that is to be thought of, in these new ventures that they're doing.
So what do you think? Do you think YouTube, or do you think it could be a situation where, since WWE is trying to go for a royal flush, I know one of the potential partners before WWE settled on Netflix, there were some negotiations for Raw going to Amazon. Because
Mm-hmm.
I remember Triple H, Nick Khan, I remember they did have some conversations with Amazon's Jeff Bezos,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing materialized, obviously. But
Right.
do you think, and everybody else listening, do you think that Amazon could maybe be the home for the WWE library? And we're going
That's a
on and on.
good.
We're going on and on about the WWE library because remember the stuff that's going on with Peacock. That's going to be coming to
And
an
then
end, if not by the end of this year, definitely early 2026. So WWE is going to be
you're
able to.
gonna have to figure out where that content is going.
Right.
Um, I think you would have more access with YouTube.
Hmm.
Um, but there's the other piece of that let's be honest, at least one member in every household has an Amazon Prime account.
Very true.
So if you already have that, and then you basically are getting your WWE access to all their content, previous than what the ESPN deal is.
Hmm.
It's not a bad thing in reference to, it's almost like a win. Maybe not. Yeah, it's almost like a, okay, apples and oranges.
Right.
To be honest with you, you almost don't lose either way, because everybody in every household has YouTube, and everybody in every household has Prime 95%.
Hmm.
So it's almost like, okay, well, if it goes here, great. If it goes here, great. It's almost like, okay, who's going to give me the better deal? That will depend on where they go.
I'm really pulling for YouTube because there's so much that they can do with YouTube, and it's more accessible. It's just more accessible, especially if now more than ever with YouTube, what's starting to become the norm is paying for YouTube Premium. I know a lot of people are also doing ad blockers, but a lot of people are coming out of their pockets and they're paying that however much it is. I believe it is, I think I'm paying somewhere between $13 to $15 a month
Mm-hmm.
for YouTube Premium. And by
Mm-hmm.
having YouTube Premium, I'm able to bypass ads
Mm-hmm.
because my God, some you could be 30 seconds into a video and all of a sudden you got to sit through an ad.
Right.
And then you're not even watching the next segment for 90 seconds and then you
Whew.
get hit with another ad. Some of the amount of ads that I've seen on some of these videos. So I look at YouTube Premium as a life saver. That's going to be, because look at the logistics. So if you do go to YouTube route, what do you say to that person that is already paying for YouTube Premium? Will they get some type of discount for having YouTube Premium? And instead, when it comes to them subscribing to YouTube as a channel member so they can access the WWE library, will they be given a couple of dollars off, or will they still have to pay? Obviously, this is early. This is early. I mean, I'm sure WWE is having these same kind of conversations, but if you're a fan, these are definitely questions that you need to have on your mind. Yeah. If you were to ask me what is the perfect setup for a fan, I would say just one low price,
Mm-hmm.
you get access to everything.
Mm-hmm.
If you happen to have YouTube Premium, that should have no bearing on the WWE YouTube subscription in my book,
Mm-hmm.
because I look at that as separate from what you're trying to access from WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you were to tell me that there would be a limited, honestly, how many of you guys are familiar with Chris Hansen and from To Catch a Predator days and his new show? Oh, what's it called? What's his new show called?
I don't remember.
Oh man, I need somebody's help in the chat. I'm trying to think of his new show, but he's got that network called True Blue. And the way Chris Hansen operates with his YouTube channel True Blue, he will release a certain amount of episodes free for people to access.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to watch everything else, you have to pay the subscription. And to entice you to pay for the True Blue subscription, he tells you, hey, if you use my YouTube promo code, whatever, that'll get you 20% off. Like, okay, cool. So if YouTube and WWE, if they were able to kind of do something along those lines, where WWE goes, look, we're only going to release a certain amount of matches, shows. If you are tired of seeing these abbreviated versions and or these versions that have a shit ton of ads, then consider getting a membership, because with that membership you'll be able to, and honestly, do a limited offer where you go, hey, for a limited time deal for the next couple of weeks or whatever, for limited time only, when you sign up, you'll be able to lock in your monthly price of,
Whatever.
and it's guaranteed, it's forever. It's forever, because once this deal is gone, it's gone. And if we ever
Right.
raise our prices, you're locked in at that
Into that rate.
price forever until you quit your subscription. I think if they were to operate in that way, and I mean, to what we were talking about earlier about Amazon, you are correct. I just want to give you your flowers. You are correct that there is at least one person in a household that has an Amazon Prime account and all of that. You're absolutely on point. But man, it's not as accessible on devices.
That's true.
At least
Yeah.
I don't feel. Maybe that's changed, but I don't exactly recall going out of my way to, oh, let me get Prime Video on my iPad. Let me get Prime Video on my phone. Let me get Prime Video on.
It's an interesting combination for you to just, get the feel for.
Yeah.
Is that possible? But the other thing that I was thinking as you were talking about that, whether it be Prime or whether it be YouTube or another company, it's almost like maybe take a page out of the book of Netflix. Okay, this month featured matches is blah 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 blah. After that month, that goes away, and the next month it's featured blah 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 blah, and essentially give people limited access to it to make sure that they're checking it out versus having everything accessed at the same time.
Wait a minute. That sounds really confusing.
So basically, what I'm saying is, you know how Netflix has, okay, well, this movie is going to be available on Netflix from now until January of 2026,
Okay.
so that you have the time to watch it and whatever have you.
Right.
Then it goes away into the vault.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then,
no, it ain't no vault. It just goes away.
well, you know what I mean.
Well, we gotta
Well,
make sure
basically,
yeah.
the vault meaning it just goes away. You're not able to access it until they bring it back out again. So do that for a little bit and then switch off, switch out, and then just make it like a featured thing.
No, don't do that. No,
Oh.
no. I'm gonna tell you the reason why, and I gotta push back on that. I gotta push back on that. You don't do that because if a wrestling fan knows that something is gonna be swapped out. See, look, the wrestling fan, it's bad enough that WWE stopped making DVDs of pay-per-views and all that stuff. That went into effect almost, it feels like it's been almost 2 years now, if not a little bit more. So gone are the days where you can go to Best Buy, Target, Sam Goody, whoever, and pick up that new wrestling DVD. The wrestling fan, more specifically the WWE fan, now more than ever, are relying for WWE to, yo, I want to have access 24/7 to this pay-per-view, and or I got to have access to this specific match anytime, anywhere, give it to me. So to do them that way where no, we're only going to have this be available for a limited time. No, that's how you alienate them. That's what made the WWE network back in 2014 a fucking gem, was
Yeah.
because any and everything that you could think of, and it was a slow build up that they did for those handful of years with the network, but man, at its peak, you were able to. I remember at one point, I was going through at least the first 4 years of WCW. Motherfuckers, I was having it good, and I know other people were having it good too. So no, you got to do this in a way. If you're WWE, you got to do this in a way where no matter what, and I know WWE is paying very close attention, and they have been, to how much money they're making on YouTube with all the different stuff that
Yeah.
they're uploading, and you know when something is good on their YouTube channel, because you're looking at the views, and you can only imagine how many thousands to a couple $100,000 that thing is doing. So it makes all the sense to go in that direction that I laid out earlier, because anything less than that will make the fan go, well, wait a minute. If y'all are gonna do like Tams is suggesting, and you just gonna give me a limited trial type of thing, it's only gonna be available for a couple of months and then it's gonna disappear. No, I want something that's always gonna stick around no matter what. That's what makes this a very interesting situation. And I pray it does not go to Amazon. Now, pause a second. So, to the person in the chat from earlier that was saying, oh, we repeat. No, what you're hearing is us circling back to the main point of what we are talking about, because it's multi layered. We're not intentionally sounding redundant. We are just going through the motions of, so what's the real deal here? What's the skinny? And this is a prime example of how there's so many moving parts to this, that if you're not careful, if you're WWE, if you're not careful, you can alienate the fans, because it's bad enough when you look at the current ecosystem. I need X amount of money over here for Peacock so I can watch WWE PLEs. I need X amount of money over here every single month so I'm able to access Raw on Netflix. I need X amount of money over here because I no longer get A&E, or I never had A&E. So now I got to get Friendly, the app, or I got to get this other bullshit thing so I can access that. Oh man, they got this other show that I'm trying to check out, but man, that's only available on Hulu. And okay, now I got to figure out how I can get something going with Hulu so I can try to check that out. They've got their hands in so many goddamn cookie jars.
And the people who essentially want to check out everything are going to come out of pocket, quite a bit. Because
Exactly.
it's 20 here, it's 10 there, it's 15, it's 7, it's, whatever.
Exactly.
All of that adds up monthly.
You get it. You got it. You got it. Karrion Cross. Karrion Cross did a phenomenal interview with Ariel Hawani earlier this week that I highly would recommend you guys go out of your way and you check out. Really, really enjoyed it. Some key takeaways from the interview. Karrion stressed that this was not a work, what's been happening with him in WWE and everything. He said that he was honest and off camera. When asked if the situation was a storyline, Cross responded, "No, I'm not answering questions today as a character. This is legit. As far as the contract details that surfaced, Cross explained that his WWE contract expired recently and he only received an offer last week. He requested details on how WWE arrived at the offer value. When the company couldn't or would not provide metrics and insisted on a 24-hour decision, he declined and the offer was rescinded. I want to pause right there. Have you ever heard of anything like that? I know you've done your fair share of hiring, offering contracts or what have you. Have you ever heard of an employment packet or a rehiring packet? Have you ever heard of a situation like this where an offer's on the table, you only got 24 hours to think about it? You're asking the employer, well, how did you come to this conclusion as far as my salary? What are you seeing that validates this? You're just asking for basic info.
Right.
Basic info. Have you ever heard of? I got to admit to you, that just made me. When I was watching the interview, it just made me raise an eyebrow. Not to the level of that's bullshit, but just to the level of that is just odd.
It is odd for an employer not to be able to give you a breakdown of how they arrived at that decision, as far as the metrics, whether it be with the new contract. Because you should, at the bare minimum, be able to give some type of foresight with it. And the fact that they couldn't seems kind of odd. And then to say, not only are we not going to give you any background, you have 24 hours to basically deal or no deal. Um, I don't necessarily know how it works with independent contractors because that essentially is what they are. Um, but I still can't imagine why you couldn't give one some behind the, background. Um, when people or companies pull some shit like that, that basically means here's a contract because we need to save face. But if you don't want to explore your options with this contract, then you can go and we'll be fine. That's what that says to me. Because people just get not, not shady. They get real matter of fact when they don't necessarily want you back in the first place. You know,
Mm.
it's odd, but I don't know, and I'm not going to speak too much on it, but I swear that there was basically I don't know if it was a show I was watching or something on the internet, but it was basically talking about this particular subject. And it was almost so apparently there was something that supposedly was to have happened and the reason why the contract went down the way it did. But it's more speculation than anything. So I don't know. I find it kind of sketchy, if you want me to be honest.
Some of the things that you just touched upon just now, at Tams, you gotta love Tams because she does not listen to wrestling podcasts. She doesn't even listen to wrestling clips. Worst case scenario, if she happens to maybe come across a clip that's playing on the TV, 9 times out of 10, it might be something I have playing of Jim Cornette. But then, even at that, she's not paying attention. Instead, she's looking at the artwork and she's going, what's going on there? What's the story there? Because she knows it's usually a story that's being told. And I cannot wait to hear what the hell's going on between Jim Cornette and Travis Heckle. I see some of the stuff that's been posted online. I know a new drive-through had dropped, I think earlier today, but now everybody's waiting for the experience, the Jim Cornette's second podcast, because they're pretty sure the whole Travis situation. I don't want to misspeak on that whole, but I see what's been put out there. I just need to know definitively what the hell's going on with that. But that's a huge loss to lose. Travis Heckle, for those of you that don't know, has been Cornette's longtime artist for his stuff on YouTube, for his YouTube channel. And, I don't even want to repeat some of the stuff that's being said as far as why the breakup happened, because I hate speculating. But again, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the coming days, hearing what Jim and Brian have to say. Look, if you are connected to their Facebook page, their official Facebook page, then you already know what's going on. You already know what Brian had said. But the thing I love about Tams is a lot of what she just said. You echoed some of the sentiments of Stevie Richards as far as, well, hey, look, we tried. We did offer him something. We're not the bad guy here. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I just, something doesn't, and I've been doing this show for a long time, right down to the point I've even seen my fair share of WWE contracts. On some shows, I've even gone over a WWE contract. I've talked to people that at one point worked for WWE. I've never heard no shit like this before.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, it's a case where you have a couple of days,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you even have a week
Mm-hmm.
or two to really marinate on it.
Most people are not gonna be able to come to. Well, not let me not say most people because I'm speaking. I would be speaking for others, but generally for you and your household, that's quite a quick turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least 48. Give me 2 to 3 days. I mean, we're not saying you need like 3 weeks, but I'm sorry. If you can't give me details of the contract that you are essentially providing me with, then what the hell?
Right.
That's like an employer saying, here, we're going to let you work here for another year. And yeah, we're going to keep you at 50 cents more than what you made last year and give you another person's job. And then you're like, how the hell does that make sense? And you ask for the details of what you're essentially being challenged with.
Right.
And they're like, well, we give you 24 hours to think about it, and you let us know if you want to do that.
Right. I got to tell you, when I first heard this part of the Ariel Hawani interview, which again, fantastic, fantastic interview. I watched all of it. It was about an hour, 13 minutes long. Good shit. When Karrion Cross got to that part, you know what was the first thing I thought about? One of my all-time favorite movies and one of the absolute best performances by the late great Jack Lemmon, Glengarry Glen Ross. If you know anything about me, guys, that Glengarry Glen Ross movie, that hits real close to home because a lot of times when I was working in market research, I kind of felt like those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I related big time to uh, Jack Lemmon's character, Levine.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of his first name, but his last name was Levine. And for those of you that have never seen the movie, the synopsis in a nutshell is Jack Lemmon. Man, I mean, who wasn't in that movie? I mean, yeah, Kevin Spacey, Al Pacino,
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin. I mean, it is just a all-star who's who of a cast. And this group of salesmen, they all are brought in for this emergency meeting as Alec Baldwin, he represents the company Mitch and Murray, and he reveals to Jack Lemmon and crew that they all are fired. But that's the bad news. But the good news is they have an opportunity to get their jobs back. It all comes in on uh, this. They were doing like a weekend's worth of sales, and basically it was whoever the top three were that could bring in the most leads, which equaled sales,
Sales. Hmm.
then they would secure their job. And first prize, I think it was a car. Second prize, it was a set of steak knives. I can't remember what the third prize was, but like fourth prize, you're fired or some shit like that. And so Jack Lemmon and everybody else, when you hear them on the phone, they're doing their cold call, and it's basically, oh, yes, hello? Is this Tammy Sanders? Tammy Sanders, I need you to listen to me very closely because I am about to tell you something that is going to change your mind and your life forever. Now, my name is Tolan Cruz, and I am with the some dumb fuck real estate, and I understand that there was some property that you were looking at out in Texas a couple of months back. Well, wouldn't you know, it just so happened that a nice fine piece of property just opened up, and I had to get on the phone and call you right away. But I said, the hell with that. I got to do better than that. I actually hopped on a plane to come out here and be able to see you and the lovely husband to let you know more about this great opportunity. Now, look, I only have 24 hours to help you secure this property. And boy, is it a steal. Now, what do you think would be a good time that I can meet with you and the mister? This is how it feels with WWE and Karrion Cross.
Hmm.
You want to continue to be a WWE superstar? Well, here, just sign on the dotted line. You only got 24 hours.
Never mind if a contract shit.
Right,
You only have 24 hours.
right.
Yeah, that's, it's almost one of those songs from the 70s is pay the cost to be the boss.
Yeah, yeah. So listen to this. This continues on. Here's more insult to injury. Scarlett, his wife,
Hmm.
lovely wife, was not offered a new deal. WWE told Cross her contract would be handled separately and only after his was settled. Meanwhile, no direct contact with WWE leadership, unlike prior negotiations. This time, he never spoke directly with Triple H or Nick Khan. Negotiations were handled through uh, an intermediate person.
Mm.
About that no 90-day non-compete clause, Cross has confirmed that he is free to appear for any promotion immediately because
He's a free agent.
he's a free agent. He honored all his dates. He's good.
Hmm.
He also talked about how he still wants to go back despite how things unfolded. He and Scarlett still hope to return to WWE and want to keep the negotiations open. There's, of course, as we mentioned at the top, there's been confusion over whether or not this is real or storyline that's being blurred. He believes WWE employees were genuinely upset over his WrestleMania promo, not that it was part of a storyline, which contributed to miscommunication internally. Meanwhile, promoters and bookers have been very hesitant to approach him due to the uncertainty over whether his WWE exit is real or a work. So
Mm-hmm.
that is where things stand right now with Karrion Cross. Very unfortunate. And look, for those of you that's still going, well, this is fake. This is nah, man. It's much like what happened with Seth Rollins and his whole knee injury and all that. This is just WWE continuing to do the bullshit that they were doing with WWE Untold and all that. Let me tell you something. And I know Tams doesn't really watch Ariel Hawani like that. That's kind of one of those rarities. But let me just chat Tams and everybody else caught up to speed that is maybe in the same boat. Y'all don't really know about Ariel Hawani. Ariel Hawani, first and foremost, is a journalist. He is a sports journalist. And his name, he's gotten everything that has been coming to him as a result of all the hard work that he's put into his respected field. This man, at one point, for those that may not know or forgot, this guy at one point was with ESPN. And when his contract and all that had came up for renewal, he really decided, you know what, I'm just gonna go on ahead. I'm gonna bet on myself, and I'm gonna let everything fall where it's gonna fall. But I'm gonna take control of my own destiny here. Let's roll the dice. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything, he's blown up even more since leaving ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
If this were a work, do you know how much damage that would do to his credibility?
Mm-hmm.
And how it would make him look like a schmuck. Like, wait a
Yes.
minute, so you did all this shit just for clicks? You did all this
Right.
shit just for,
And
right?
not telling the story.
Right.
Yeah.
And Ariel Hawani is one of those type of people where if you fuck him over, he doesn't let you forget about it. There's been a few rare times where shit got real and he's blasted. Like this is the same guy. People need to realize this is the same guy that did an interview with Tony Khan. I think it was last year or the year before. And he was so tired of the bullshit bubblegum responses that Tony Khan was giving him. Ariel was like, okay, look, you said you wanted to come on the show. You didn't mind coming on the show. And, yeah, we'll promote your little dynamite. We'll promote your little rampage. We'll promote your little pay per view. Like, we got all that out the way. But now it's time to get down to the nitty gritty. It's time to ask questions. And Ariel's like, I was trying to do a gotcha hit piece with this guy. Like, I'm trying to ask him legit questions.
Mm-hmm.
And the way Tony Khan was just dancing, and Ariel went on record and said one of the worst interviews that he's ever conducted. And Tony Khan's been an asshole ever since to Ariel. At times trying to play the victim. What did I do wrong and all that other stuff, right? But trust me, if this were to blow up in Ariel's face, oh my god.
Yeah.
And like you would just like to believe WWE, no, they're not going to put him in that position cuz that would just be so wrong, especially when WWE has fed him in the past
Mm-hmm.
other WWE superstars. Here's the other thing I want to say before you jump in.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another thing that lets me know that this is not a work.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is the payoff?
True.
Okay, you do all this with him and oh, we got you. Okay, so how exactly did you get us? Because you're doing all. How would you bring him back? How would you? You understand what I'm saying? Like this is, if this is an elaborate scheme, this is
That's.
one of the most baffling schemes that I've seen to date.
Mm-hmm.
Because normally we've seen our fair share, you and me and all the listeners, we've seen our fair share over the years of wrestlers that disappear for a month or two or three because, well, they got a new book that's getting ready to come out, and or they've got a movie they got to go film. So they got to go do this limited tour and media press and all that other stuff. But they're back in a couple of months, and usually what happens with them is maybe they get taken out on television by a devastating injury. Or maybe they pull a Shawn Michaels. Somehow I lost my smile along the way. I got to disappear for a while and go see if I can find it. And then they disappear, and but look at how things ended with Cross and Sammy at SummerSlam. Sammy beat Cross clean in the middle of the ring. He didn't even take a pipe, which we thought, okay, Sammy's gonna tap into his dark side. No, he beat that motherfucker clean in the middle of the ring. It was one of the most. What the fuck was that? Where does Cross go from here?
So, in reference to that, I heard, much like some places where people have worked, because funny enough is, a little bit behind the curtain, if you want to call it that. Lee and I are essentially apart a lot because I work a lot of hours. But I am on my phone and looking up this, looking up that. Well, I had already saw something online that basically stated that, you know, basically the WWE, the company, gives work to the people they want to give work to. They make the people that they want to give the work to white hot. Well, according to what I heard, Sami Zayn is one of those people, which makes sense of what you just said as far as that match.
Mm.
And then, obviously the topic that we've been wrestling with is the fact is this a work or is this not a work? Seems to me like it's not a work. Seems to me like this is what they're doing and they're going through the motions of someone who is not renewing their contract. So, and it seems like, and maybe even to some people's, thought process is, okay, well, I guess then that match makes sense now, doesn't it?
I still feel that they're going to be able to work things out. I really, really do. But there's only but
They're
so
gonna
much
have to give it
time.
time though.
Yeah.
If they don't want people to think that they were just bullshitting him all the way in the beginning, he's gonna have to be off of WWE for at least 6 to 8 months, maybe even a year.
One thing that's interesting is a wrestling promoter had tried to reach out to Karrion Cross and Scarlett, and they revealed that the couple wants so much money. Like their asking fee is so fucking ridiculous that he's under the impression that, yeah, nah, like if this isn't a work, they are trying to put themselves in a position where it comes off like they are definitely trying to work something out with WWE, which is maybe why the asking price is so
It's so
high.
high.
Yeah. If that makes sense, y'all.
And it does. Okay, so to turn it on the flip side.
Because think about it. Because think about it. For full context, I want to give you and the listeners this context before you continue. These days, we're talking about talents like Cross and Scarlett. I mean, Cross is maybe making about maybe $350,000 a year. Scarlett is maybe doing about maybe she's doing about 125,000.
Mm.
So that's some pretty good. That's some pretty good coin right there.
So if it's not, we're trying to work out the deal with WWE,
Mm.
then it's this is the lifestyle we're used to. This is what we want. But also knowing that on the flip side, you were in a juggernaut of a company that could give you that kind of salary because they were making that kind of money. You know that you're probably comfortable for a little bit because of what you've made. But in the long term, if you are essentially trying to put food on the table, then an independent promoter is not going to pay you WWE money. No, won't happen. They don't make it. So either they are trying to make it work with WWE and have a little bit of cushion for this
In the interim.
in the interim, or they are essentially setting their standards a little bit too high because that's what they're used to. And then, if that's the case, they're going to, as time goes on, going to get one hell of a reality check because that just isn't what happens on a day-to-day promotion, not a WWE promotion who is, all over the world.
Yeah. A lot of people are thinking maybe the couple will end up going back to TNA.
But
I
still, not WWE money.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's very interesting and
Pause a second. Let's not also forget, because this is important context as well. Let's not also forget things got pretty ugly for Scarlett and Carrion the last time they were in TNA. Things ended and I remember talking about it and covering it on the shows when Cross was trying to get out of his contract with TNA. That got real ugly. That got
then there might be
real
some burned
ugly.
bridges there that may not be reopened.
And I'm pretty sure that was under Anthem, maybe not that long after Anthem had took over and everything. So they say, who says you can't go home, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, but you can't burn bridges either.
And for those of you that's like, oh, AEW, the only way Cross would thrive in AEW is if Cross is given full creative control and it's a situation where he can pick his opponents and he can figure out not he can't figure out, but he has the say on, okay, who's going to go over,
Right.
as far as like how is this going to make sense, how will this person benefit from picking up a win, how will Cross benefit from losing, and vice versa. You got to give him that type of control. You got to, because as I've said for years, Cross is a great combination of Kevin Sullivan meets the late great Sean O'Hare, meets uh, meets Raven to a certain degree. Like you just put all those characters together, and he's got a great mind for the business. Dude knows how to book.
Well, I mean, it depends on, if they're willing to give him that kind of money and creative control, or do they want to micromanage? If they want to micromanage, that actually may hurt his rise or the character he's trying to create.
Yeah. One more thing to get into. Definitely wish him nothing but the very best. And I'll be talking more about Cross on Monday's show, as I'll give you guys my first impressions of his new book, Life is Fighting. Had got a copy of that last week. One other thing to talk about before we get into some Baltimore Ravens. We're going to close out giving the breakdown for what all's been going on with the Baltimore Ravens and our predictions on their win-loss record for this season. Bret Hitman Hart, somebody that we both have a lot of respect for and everything. He, boy, I tell you. So he says he doesn't feel appreciated by WWE after they invited him to SummerSlam, but
I saw
didn't
that.
have any seats left for him when he got there. And he said, and I quote, this was on a podcast interview. I don't know the name of the show offhand. Quote unquote, I went to SummerSlam. They invited me down, told me they wanted me to be in the crowd. And once I got there, they told me they didn't have any seats. But I noticed Kevin Nash got a seat. Maybe I finally realized that I don't feel they really fully appreciate me, even after Hulk Hogan's passing. There's no certain appreciation for anything I did. He also did another podcast joint some weeks back where he said that today's WWE feels too manufactured. The wrestling is overly choreographed, and that the real art of storytelling is gone under the current regime. Again, that the real art of storytelling, it's gone under with the current regime. Also took a shot at modern promos, saying most of these guys sound like they're acting, not talking. Folks, tell me where Bret Hart is lying. I've been watching Lyra Valkyria. She is a prime example of coming off like she's acting and not talking. Of course, you think about his heat slash beef with Triple H. That goes way back when, as Bret has never respected Triple H as a top guy, even once saying publicly he's never had a great match in his life unless someone carried him. And he believes that Triple H politicked in the mid 90s backstage along with Shawn Michaels to keep him out of the title picture. And of course, after Triple H became a WWE exec, Bret has accused Triple H of being part of decisions that led to Owen Hart being under honored and underused in WWE history packages, which still pisses him off. Even since returning and doing WWE related stuff, Hall of Fame and all that, sure, you got the guy smiling for the cameras, but Brett has said multiple times he still doesn't get along with Triple H and thinks Triple H has pushed revisionist history about the Hart Foundation, Montreal Screwjob, and Brett's own legacy. So when you get to the bottom line of all of this, Brett feels that when he watches WWE today, it's too sports entertainment and less wrestling. Kind of goes up to the comments that he made on Gunther recently, where he said, only thing that motherfucker knows how to do is chop somebody, and he's hurting them when he chops them, and it's lazy fucking chops, and it's not even wrestling. And he said, I told that to Gunther's face. I mean, more power to Brett, but I mean, he shades the product, does Brett, and he's throwing Triple H under the bus. I hear and I respect the fuck. Look, I love Brett. Brett's one of my all time. He's in my top 10. Hell, he's definitely in my top 5, if not. Shit, he's. I think I got him in my top 3. Some days I got him like right above Shawn Michaels, and then sometimes I got Shawn right above Brett. But and I loved meeting him at Squared Circle Collectibles. What's it been now? 2 years, at least 2 years.
Almost. I think it was October, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Had him sign a big gold belt and everything. Two things can be said that's true. He's making a lot of good points, but at the same time, I kind of got that old school mentality, which is, yo, if you're gonna be talking a whole bunch of shit,
Mm-hmm.
don't be expecting niggas to roll out the red carpet for you the next time that they see you.
That's true. That's true. But it's almost like, and feel me, guys, with this. in the in the knowledge that I have as far as the Montreal screw job on up to now, present day, right? So it's, I swear to God, it seems like, oh well, he's the black sheep of the family. We don't really listen to him. We just let him talk. And we don't invite him to family functions. If he want to come, that's fine, but you know it's almost like, yeah, we just tolerate him. And it's kind of weird for all that he has done for the WWE. So I have mad respect for him. In all the interviews that I've seen and all of what he says, and even to just the points that Lee was, making, that he had stated. I agree. I remember wrestling in the 80s. My uncle watched it avidly. So every time I saw it, it was guaranteed that we would see him at least every 3 months. So at some point in the visit where he was up there or up here and I was down there, whatever, there was wrestling on the TV, whether it was WCW, whether it was WWF, all of that. So to go and fast forward to now, oh yeah, it's very scripted. And it's almost living up to what people were saying back in the 80s about it. Meaning, oh, you watch that stuff? It's this, that, and the third.
Well, shit, babe, right down to your point. Look at what happened when we were eating at Clyde's a couple of weeks back.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow wrestling got brought up, and our friend's
Mm-hmm.
boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
he pulled a JR. You still watch that shit?
I had to laugh because literally he said exactly what JR said that people say about it.
Yeah.
And and you almost have to feel like you have to explain or defend that
Right.
part
Right.
because it's been brought up. But back then it was so much more homegrown. It doesn't To me, it doesn't need to be a production.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. In every company. Now, maybe you could beg to differ that, TNA is maybe a little more homegrown than AEW, and AEW is a little more homegrown than WWE. With the rise in the company, feels maybe in its own right, it feels in a way that they have to control every aspect of it.
Hmm.
And the funny thing is, it's not necessarily the case. In controlling every aspect of it, you lose the originality. So
Yeah. No, I agree 1,000%. I love Brett. I will always respect and appreciate his contributions to the business, and it sucks that Brett feels the way he feels.
mm-hmm.
But this is where I got to push back a little bit. If you've already felt a particular way,
Well, I keep going back.
why keep going back? Brett, why accept the money then? Why accept the money from WWE? Because if that's how you're feeling, then any Legends deal,
That's true.
you should be getting out of that, and you
Mm-hmm.
should just be going accordingly to whoever is going to show you that respect. Because see, this is where I would push back and be devil's advocate and say, well, Brett, not for nothing, but look at how Tony Khan, no matter how you may feel, look at how he's done your late brother Owen. especially when it's come to those Owen Hart tournaments and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really great tournaments that's been happening these past couple of years. Like, Brett, you should be doing what you need to do to
Mm-hmm.
work with AEW, Tony Khan and them. And
Mm-hmm.
hey, at least they're trying to pay it forward
Mm-hmm.
and really do your brother justice. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're all in your feelings, why continue? Are you working us? I mean, ever since this whole Seth Rollins thing and all that, it's like, are you working us? And I honestly know in my heart of hearts, he's not
Right.
working us. But I believe in two things. It's okay to be outspoken, but at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, being too outspoken can shoot you in the foot.
It almost then becomes, is this something you're saying to get your voice heard? Or is this something that you are essentially saying and re-saying to complain? Because I agree with Lee. It's kind of like, okay, so you feel disrespected, you feel this, you feel that. Then why, you know, why go that route? Okay, maybe you're saying to yourself, well, you know what? They owe me this. All my blood, all my sweat, all my tears, all of that I put into the company to in small part make them what they are today. Then I deserve this. They owe this to me. Maybe. Maybe in reference to that could be stated by a person who feels that way. But then on the flip side, then you lose the reliability or relatability
Mm.
to one who's saying, well, if you're going to bitch about the company and this way, that way, they did this, they did that, they did this, then how can we hold you as serious? Because you literally are complaining, but you're ready to take that money.
I want to read to you something that veteran wrestler Vito had said. I think I just threw up. You have become someone that people can't stand listening to anymore. Looked up to you in this business. I was there the night you got hit. Shit, there have been many whose careers stopped because of injury. Some who might have been better than you. Yeah, better. Concussions and broken necks. People losing limbs. People that have died, and you don't even let them die in peace. I got plenty of beef. I say it once, and that's it. I make my point. But bitching with money in the bank, you're treated like royalty and you treat people like shit. You still get paid by the WWE and you're still complaining. How about this? Take your ball and go the fuck home. It's been said. Finally, someone has spoken. It's me. Now go have a miserable day. The best there was at bitching. The best there ever will be at bitching. And one last thing. The best there ever will be at bitching.
Well, now, um, he said it much more bluntly than I did, meaning Vito. It's kind of like, yeah, so you got the money, but you're still basically bitching about what you don't have, how they're treating you, whatever have you. So, which one is it?
I don't think Brett was lying about the whole seat thing at SummerSlam. Here's my whole thing. I don't know who is in charge of that whole fuck up, but whoever was in charge needed to lose their job because what should have happened, and everybody knows this by now, WWE has hired extras.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have easily, basically, seat fillers.
Mm-hmm.
You could have easily had security try to reach out to one of the seat fillers and say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, look, come with me. They
I'm gonna
want
get
you
you a new
to.
seat because I
No,
need.
no, you don't even have to do that. You just needed Bret Hart to be shown one time, and then he could have just sat in the back
Mm-hmm.
at Gorilla. You needed him for the cameras. Oh, look who's here! Hey, it's Bret Hitman Hart. That's all you needed. So
Mm-hmm.
take one of the seat fillers,
Mm-hmm.
go maybe escort them to the back, or give them a $50 gift card. Let them go to the concession stand, go buy some WWE merch real quick, and then once the Bret Hart segment is over, hey, I just got word. His segment's done. Okay, you can go back to your seat now. Come on, I'll take you back. That's how you do it.
Uh-huh.
That's how you do it.
Yep.
So it could have been some shade, but when you're constantly throwing shade,
You're gonna think that they're throwing shade, and you know what? It could have been just somebody fucked up.
no, 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 no. Make no mistake about it. I'm talking about Bret Hart continuing to throw shade at
Oh,
WWE and the people in charge.
yes,
You can't keep doing that
true.
and expect the type of treatment that he thinks is, brother, it ain't owed to you. If you're not going out of your way, look, I think he would be even more respected by Triple H and others in WWE if he internally
Mm-hmm.
pulled people to the side,
Mm-hmm.
pulled Triple H to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, hey, I know you got a heavy task on your shoulders here. Whatever you need, I'm more than happy to help. How about that? How about be part of the solution, not the problem?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I couldn't have been interviewing Bret Hart, because as much as I am a fan of his, I would have been pushing back and I would have been saying, well, Bret, it sucks to hear that this is how you feel about the current WWE product. And I'm sure that there are some fans that share those same sentiments. You talked about how you went up to Gunther and you expressed your disgust over his lack of wrestling and how he's legit hurting people with his chops and everything. With your current criticism of the WWE product, have you pulled Triple H Paul Levesque to the side and internally, privately, told him XYZ? Have you offered to try to maybe, I don't know, show up at the performance center
Mm-hmm.
and maybe teach for a day? Would you
Mm-hmm.
be interested in being a coach? None of these people are asking those type of questions. They're just
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I hear you, Brett. Yeah, Brett. Yeah, hit man.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's really, and we actually have gotten into a society that this is welcomed. Everybody wants to be a part of the criticism on what's wrong with whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Never a part of the solution.
Exactly. You said it beautifully. Let's close out strong. Baltimore Ravens. All right, so this is what's been going on with the Baltimore Ravens leading up to their first preseason game. So check this shit out. Off-season moves and rosters, some key signings. Chadobu Awuzie, cornerback, 1 year deal, adds experience to the secondary alongside Marlon Humphrey and Nate Wiggins. Meanwhile, you got DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver. He has a 1 year contract to bolster receiving. Elsewhere, we got Rashad Bateman, another wide receiver. He signed a 3 year, get this, Tams, $36.75 million extension back in June with $20 million guaranteed.
Mm.
How about that? Derrick Henry, love me some Derrick Henry, re-upped with a 2 year extension that's worth $30 million total, 25 million guaranteed. Joe Noteboom, uh, offense tackle, and Malachi Starks, safety, among younger additions via free agency and the draft. Meanwhile, as far as your coaching stability goes, John Harbaugh is locked in with a new 3-year extension, and rightfully so. He earns it.
Mm-hmm.
He earned it.
Mm-hmm.
As far as roster shuffles, Justin Tucker was released. First season since 2011 without him on the roster.
Oh, wow.
Marcus Major Jr., running back, waived. Meanwhile, Miles Gaskins signed, giving more depth at the running
Gaskins, where
back.
did he come from?
I don't know offhand. I don't know
Yeah,
offhand.
like the name sounds familiar to me.
Signed, that gives more depth at the running back, while other backs, they pretty much rest up and everything. Corey Bullock, offensive guard center, UDFA emerging as a versatile candidate for the 53-man roster. So here's your preseason headline so far. They got a win against the Cowboys on August 16th. Beat their asses 31-13.
Oh,
Cooper Rush, QB, flashed with 198 yards and a touchdown return to AT&T Stadium.
second string QB.
Yes.
Okay.
Rookie kicker Taylor Loop nailed 5 of 6 field goals, 3 over 50 yards, and nailing extras, earning him the job for Baltimore.
Okay.
You got some position battles that's underway, as right now we need to be on the lookout for competition at guard, as Daniel Falali, hopefully I'm pronouncing that last name right, is under pressure. Inside linebacker Trenton Simpson, Teddy Buchanan, and Jay Higgins are pushing veteran Jake Hummel. Wide receiver depth behind the starters, and special teams, especially punter Jordan Stout. So that is where things stand right now. Your thoughts on what you've heard so far for what's been happening during the off season leading up to that first pregame, as I'm getting ready to pull up the Baltimore Ravens regular season roster.
Well, my thought is, as a big of a conglomerate as far as a franchise that is, giving Lamar Jackson his weapons is only going to make them stronger. It's really how they do in reference to the team as a whole, is what's going to either earn them the job or not, meaning the rookies.
I have a correction to make too. Week 1 for Baltimore Ravens was on August 7th. They beat the Indianapolis Colts 24-16. And week 2 was on the 16th, and they defeated the Cowboys 31-13. So that's 2 preseason games so far. Their next preseason game will be on Saturday the 23rd against the Washington Commanders. That game is at noon.
That'll definitely be something to watch there. I actually definitely want to see that. Was that Sunday the 23rd?
Saturday the 23rd,
What time?
noon.
Okay.
I think you'll be here for that.
I should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should be.
I think you'll be here for that.
So yeah, definitely want to see that. I mean, preseason is preseason. They really aren't truly none of the starters are really essentially in those games. This is really filling out second string
Right.
to figure out who they're going to place into first string. So it's great that they are winning their preseason games, but it's really about, okay, what are you going to do when the season really starts? I definitely remember some seasons with the Commanders, and all 3 preseason games they won. And I swear to God, they extended the season to 5-10. It's like, well, that wasn't anything, So,
Yeah.
but no, seriously, the Ravens are a very strong team, especially under Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh, sorry, the wrong Harbaugh.
Yeah.
So
You want to get into this schedule?
yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay. Week 1 against the Buffalo Bills. Who you got?
Oof. That's a team. Whew. I'm gonna say lose.
I am marking you down. I am going to say win. All right, week 2, Cleveland Browns. Send in the Browns.
Um, because I didn't remember their record last year.
I think I got something. Aren't they the shits? We give them the kicks. We send them packing so they can eat a big bowl of grits. They have the shittiest season after season. Why have they played for so long? Send in the Browns.
Oh my. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I think that will be a win for Baltimore.
You already know where I'm going. I'm going with Ravens on that one. All right, week 3, Detroit Lions.
That would be a game.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're gonna win against Detroit.
Okay. I'm going to go with a loss. Week 4, Kansas City Chiefs.
Loss.
You're going with a loss. I am going to. I'm going to say a loss. Week 5, Houston Texans.
Win.
I'm going to say win as well. Los Angeles Rams, week 6.
Loss.
I'm going to say win. Week 7, they get a bye. Let me just mark that down here. I did not see that coming. Wow, that bye came so early for them. Damn.
Yeah.
So they really, really gotta. Damn, that sucks. That sucks. Okay, week 8, the Bears.
I'd say win.
I'm gonna say win as well. That's week 8. Okay, week 9, Miami Dolphins.
Win.
I'm gonna say win as well. Minnesota Vikings.
Win.
I'm gonna go with an upset. I'm gonna say loss. Uh-oh. Guess who they got in week 11? No peeking. Guess who they got in week 11?
Cowboys.
Send in the Browns.
I'm going with a sweep.
So you're going with the win.
With a loss.
Oh, you're going with a.
Meaning they lose. I'm sorry. Yes,
Yeah,
win for Ravens.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm about to say, wait a minute now. I'm going with a win as well. We both agree they should sweep the Browns. Okay, week 12, Jets.
Don't they have a good new quarterback now? I really still think the Jets are rebuilding. I think they get a win with the Jets. I think the Jets have a new quarterback from last season or something.
Keep talking. I'm looking right now for you.
Now the Jets weren't doing too bad late last season with their quarterback that they had. But
Oh yeah, Justin Fields.
uh huh,
Yeah.
I still think they win over the Jets.
And he started his home preseason debut as the Giants beat the Jets 31-12.
Was that this year?
Yes, yes, Lovey, yes.
Oh, okay. Woo! The Giants beat the Jets. That's interesting.
Yeah. Shout out to the New York Post. Jets chose Justin Fields as new QB with $40 million NFL free agency contract. And he is their starting quarterback. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big problem. I hate that this continues to happen. Honestly, there should be a mandatory 1 year red shirt for
Mm-hmm.
there really, really should.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a little annoyed seeing these QBs fresh out of college and they're just going right to
NFL.
yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
really don't like that. I really don't. Let me go back to the schedule here. So week 12, the Jets. What are you going
Win.
with?
Win.
You got them winning.
I got the Ravens
You got
winning.
Ravens. Yeah, I heard
Mm-hmm.
you. I heard you right then. I'm gonna say Ravens pick up a win as well. Week 13, Cincinnati Bengals.
Who's their QB?
Hang on, I can tell you. So, who is the Bengals QB 2025?
Yeah, it's
Joe
Burrows.
Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow. I don't know why I blanked out on that name.
Um. Mer-
By the way, speaking of Joe Burrow,
that's a toss up.
what do you think about hearing that John Burrow,
Joe.
Joe Burrow,
Mm.
I don't know if you've seen the video or if you read the news, but he was coming out of a bar slash restaurant at like 2 in the morning, and he was walking around the corner, almost a block, and there was a group of young guys. None of them looked like they were teenagers, and they all were just Joe, you sign this, Joe, come on, Joe, don't be like that, Joe. Hey, Joe, where you going with that gun in your hand? Sorry. Anyway, they're like, Joe, and he just calmly is looking at them. He is giving them this look like, I know you're not fucking bothering me at 2 in the morning. Like, really? And he just don't say shit to them. He gets in his vehicle, and you got this one alleged fan. Thanks a lot, Joe. Way to treat your fans, Joe. And I just couldn't help but go, no, no, these were scalpers. Like,
Mm.
seriously, come on, you could see this a mile away. Because you had this knucklehead on social media that was trying to spin this narrative of, oh, look at how this guy treats his fans. This is so disrespectful to be treating the kids like that. And I'm like, kids? Where do you see kids? I see nothing but a bunch of,
Grown ass man.
yeah, I mean, my God, it's pretty obvious these guys shave. You don't need to look at their balls to figure that out. It's clear as day. They shaving. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, these look like motherfuckers that was just trying to do what they needed to do to go right on eBay.
Even at that, I mean, that kind of is in reference to the lines between, yeah, he's a sports athlete and whatever have you, and he's made a name for himself.
Mm.
But then it's well, what about Joe Burrows, the person? Would you really want to be hounded at 2 a.m. in the morning for a damn autograph? You probably knocked back at least a beer,
Mm-hmm.
had a nice dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on the area he was in, maybe he just really didn't want to be bothered at 2 a.m. I mean, for me, that doesn't phase me one way or the other. I just feel like he's actually acting human. Like, leave me the fuck alone. It's not like it's, some 5-year-old who shouldn't be up at 2 a.m., but, it's like the 7-year-old kid, and it's kind of like, oh, Joe Burrows, and, maybe. But some grown ass people who know better, fuck that.
I said, Joby, it's 3 a.m. Won't you sign it for me?
Yeah. Right.
All right, so who you got?
Um,
Week 13, Bengals.
I really think Baltimore's gonna take that one.
Okay, you're going with Baltimore. Okay, I am going to go. What's going on there? Why is my ring doorbell going off? Who can it be knocking at my door? Go away. Don't you come here no more. Can't you see that it's late at night? I'm very tired and I'm not feeling right. All I wish is to be alone. So go away. Don't come around here no more. Best now if you hang outside. Don't come in. I'll only run and hide. Who can it be now?
Mm-mm.
The fact that I know that word for word. I love the 80s. I'm going with a win. Okay, let's see here. Let us now go with. I'm able to see who it was at my door. Who can it be knocking at my door? Make no sound. Tiptoe across the floor. If he hears, he'll knock all day. I'll be trapped. And here I'll have to say. I told Mish a long time ago, I said, dude, that is the song that all immigrants play when ICE is knocking on the
Oh shit. Oh shit.
I had mission tears. oh, oh, oh. Look, you guys got to give us credit. When we open up these shows, we're just getting warmed up. But if you can make it past the first couple of minutes, we really start cooking. That's where the real magic starts, right? That's where it really begins. But no, just picture that,
Oh, I can
just,
picture it.
just picture Babatunde and his family. They're having smothered peanut butter gravy over chicken, and they're eating rice, and you get that knock on the door, and Babatunde's, who can it be knocking at my door? Boom, 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 and then and then poor Juan Pablo, who's kicking back, and I don't know what they're eating that night. Like, I don't know, but like, you know, yeah, like, who can it be knocking at my door? And they are literally like scattering. Everybody's jumping out windows, right? Babatunde and his family jumping out the fucking windows as well, right? Or what about, Asian Pacific Islanders, who can it be knocking at my door? I mean, they doing the bow, and then they doing a drop kick out that bitch. I'm going to hell. Of all the fucking songs in my head right now, I have no fucking clue why that song is in my head. All right. Anyway, I think I got it out of my system. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that needs to be our outro. I don't know.
No.
Week 14, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Russell Wilson? No. He's not with the Steelers anymore, is he?
Let me check for you right now.
They made some major moves in the offseason from what I remember. I still think they probably get a win over the Steelers, though.
Let's see. I am finding out right now for you. And it is no, he is with the Giants. He signed a 1 year deal
That's what it.
back in
I was like,
March.
I know he went somewhere, and I couldn't remember where. So, yeah, I think they get a win.
The current QB for the Pittsburgh Steelers is oh fuck. I knew I forgot.
Forgot what?
It's Aaron Rodgers. He signed a 1 year deal.
With the Steelers?
Yes. Yes. I can't believe I blanked out on that. Sorry, guys.
Need a nap and a sandwich?
Yes, I do. I'm getting old.
No, I mean Aaron Rodgers. Hey, Noonie.
Your thoughts on Week 14 Steelers there?
Ravens win.
You got Ravens winning. Okay. Ah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna say a win for the Ravens as well. ¿Quién puerta está tuncanda y me porta? I know I just butchered that. Sorry to our Spanish audience. Week 15, Cincinnati Bengals. Every time my Ring doorbell goes off on my phone, that is literally in my head. Who can it be knocking at my door? But in most cases, it's legit. Who can it be walking past my door? Because that's how fucking close they walk to our fucking door.
That's true. That is very true.
Week 15, Cincinnati Bengals. Who you got?
Loss.
Ooh. Okay. Let's see here. I'm gonna say loss. Week 16, New England Patriots.
Win.
I'm going to say this is a tricky one. Let me think here. I'm gonna say win. I'm starting to think about fatigue and like whether,
Well,
at least for me.
True, but we also know with with the Ravens, they start getting real hot as it starts to get playoff time.
That is true. 2 more weeks here. Green Bay Packers, Week 17. Jordan Love, right?
Loss.
I'm gonna match you. Week 18, Steelers.
Win.
Yeah, against Aaron Rodgers, bitch ass. Yeah. All right, let's tally this up here. Talk a little bit while I add this up.
So, half of these games, guys, as you kind of know, they call the Baltimore Ravens the heart attack kids, because generally at that 2 minute mark is when they play like a quarter of football in 2 minutes. and it's just so topsy turvy up and down, and heart attack kids. That's what they call them.
Eh,
So at least in this area, that's what they call them. So
Want to hear the tally?
sure.
This is very interesting. And we were more diverse when it came to our commanders. For those of you that weren't with us last week, Tams has the Washington Commanders going 12-4, and she feels that's going to be enough to clinch a playoff berth. Meanwhile, I said that the Commanders was going to, based on my win-loss predictions, they were going to get a 10-7 record, and they were going to need some help. With that 10-7 record, they should be able to get a wild card clinch, but get eliminated in that wild card game. This week, in regards to the Baltimore Ravens, we have the same record, which is 12-5.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So now the question, is that going to be enough for them to clinch a playoff berth? Is this a playoff berth, or are we talking about wild card territory here?
Well, I think the Eagles are going to do pretty well this year.
And I definitely feel the Packers are going to do pretty good.
Yeah, but are they in our division?
I don't
Think so.
think so.
So usually in our division, it's the Commanders, it's the Eagles, it's the Giants, Dallas, and
What about Jets? Is Jets part of it or no?
Jets is, I think, a part of it as well. I, you know what? I don't know if the Jets are part of it. I don't think they are.
I can check.
But I think it's Dallas, us. So Eagles, Commanders, Dallas, and New York Giants. Now, they may or may not have added some teams to the, what is it, NFC East?
Hang on, I'm looking right now for you. Okay, I am looking. I have it right now in front of me. Oh, boy. This is wonderful colors that I'm looking at here. Yes. Yes. So for the NFC East, Giants,
Right?
Commanders.
Right.
What symbol is Giants, Commanders? I don't know what the hell that red star is.
Texans?
You got, I guess. And then there's a team with a red star. Okay, that's better. That helps me understand it more. Okay. NFC East. Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, Commanders. NFC North, Bears, Lions, Packers, Vikings.
Tigers.
Oh my. NFC South, Falcons, Panthers, Saints, Bucks. NFC West, Cardinals, Niners, Seahawks, Rams.
So I have a strong feeling that Eagles are going to be a division leader.
Now that I'm looking at all of these logos, I'm going to jump out there. Now that I'm looking at these logos, I can say with conviction that, now that's on the NFC East side. Baltimore Ravens is on the AFC side. So
Right.
they're part of the AFC North. So their division, Bengals, Browns, Steelers. AFC East, we got
Oh,
Bills,
shit.
we got Dolphins, we got
Yes.
Patriots, we got Jets.
That 12-5 is
Yeah.
gonna probably put them in the top.
let me finish it out. We got Texans, we got Colts, Jaguars, Titans, Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers. That's enough to clinch a berth, I think.
I agree.
That's yeah. So I'm gonna say clinch.
Because they clinched last year.
I'm gonna say clinch.
They clinched, I think, basically home field advantage, if I'm not mistaken, last year.
I'm gonna say they clinch, but not home field.
Okay.
No home. And I can see them getting to the divisional round. And they divisional round. Hey, careful, careful.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, last thing you want to do is pull.
Okay.
Yeah, don't pull, yeah. Um if anything, push back now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, push. Yeah, whatever you did, yeah. Um this is a tricky one. I don't know. See, where I'm confused, people, I'm just thinking about this team. I'm picturing the clinch. I'm picturing the divisional round, but is all that going to be enough to get to the Super Bowl? That's where I'm a little bit caught up right now. Yeah, I
I
can't
don't know.
quite I can't quite fully go all in.
Yeah.
So again, I'm gonna say they'll clinch a playoff berth, but no home field advantage. They'll make it to the divisional round. They'll get eliminated. What are you looking at?
Uh, I actually kind of believe the same.
So you got them clinching a berth?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, clinch.
I don't know about home field advantage. Well, no, I think they will have home field advantage.
Home advantage.
But I do feel like at some point in the divisional rounds, they're gonna.
Well, how far? No, no. How far are you seeing them going?
I don't think they'll get to the Super Bowl.
So are you going with the divisional round?
Yeah. Yeah.
Round eliminated. Just writing this down here. All right. So the recap for the Baltimore Ravens. Tam's got well, me as well. We both have them with a 12-5 record. I feel that they're going to clinch a playoff berth with no home field advantage. They'll make it to the divisional round, get eliminated. Tam sees them clinching a playoff berth with that record. They will have home field advantage in her book. She sees the Ravens making it to the divisional round, will get eliminated. You guys agree with that? Sound off. Let us know. I'm very curious if y'all are vibing the same way. What team you want to look at next week? And extension goes to everybody else as well. What team would you like to see us tackle next? Maybe we can get two in one. Should we maybe look at the Super Bowl? I think that's a good one. Why don't we look at the two Super Bowl teams next week
Sure.
and let folks know whether or not we see them running it back
Mm-hmm.
and all that good stuff. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a damn good one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, before we get ready to dip, want to give a shout out to you, the listeners, because unlike that one guy we had earlier, the rest of you have been so fantastic. Y'all been so warm. Y'all been so sweet. Y'all been showing the ultimate love and the support. You've been checking out all the great content, not just on YouTube. You've been showing me some mad love over on the TikTok. Appreciate that. Checking out the stats the other day for the show on demand and on the downloads, our audio version. And that is just doing gangsters. I love seeing everything on the up and up. So that's great. Also love working with our sponsors. I want to give them a shout out as well because without them, Content like what you're checking out right now would not be made possible. I definitely want to give a mad shout out to the good folks over at my favorite 24/7 live internet radio station. Of course, I'm talking about IME, iRadio, your global soundtrack featuring the hottest indie artists from the 90s to 2000s. Man, we talking throwbacks mixed with today's top 40 hits. Think of it as a world tour for your ears, my pretty babies, delivering crowd favorites and hidden gems from the US, Europe, and Canada. Look, tune in, vibe out, and discover your next favorite track. Check them out. IME iRadio Station. Once again, that's IME iRadio Station. We're also brought to you in part by Gary S. Park and his new book, Parenting with God's Heart, Loving Your Children Through Faith. This isn't just advice, it's biblical, intentional, and rooted in how God parents us with grace, love, and accountability. Whether you're struggling with discipline or just want to raise your kids to reflect Christ in this crazy world we're living in, this book's got something real for you. Check it out on Amazon or by visiting GarySPark.com. We got episodes available for you all throughout the place on demand and downloads. All you got to do is just search the RCWR show. Light up that Spotify, light up that Amazon, hit up iTunes, Pandora, TuneIn, iHeartRadio. I'm looking at you too. Get at us all throughout social media using the keywords the RCWR show. She's the beautiful and the lovely Tammy Sanders. We're wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you guys Monday night, August 18th, 2025, for a new Raw post show. Gonna be talking about Raw Fallout. I'll give my thoughts on the Triple Mania event that went down this weekend. We'll get into the very latest of wrestling headlines and so much more. Make sure you tune in for that. Until then, take care, y'all. Peace.
Bye bye. Go back up.